Number 6. The Kola Borehole, humanity's deepest wound. A crew drills not for oil, not for precious metals, but purely to test the limits of human engineering. Back in 1970, Soviet scientists started boring into the Kola Peninsula, close to the Norwegian frontier. The shaft they named SG-3 eventually descended 12,262 meters. It still holds the record as the deepest artificial point anywhere on the planet. At the bottom, that borehole narrows to a mere 23 centimeters across, roughly the diameter of a dinner plate, yet it drops over 12 kilometers into the earth. Around 6,000 meters down, the drill brought up something that defied all expectations. Fossilized plankton nearly 2 billion years old, carbonized yet perfectly preserved, not transformed into minerals. The hole also contradicted textbook geology. Liquid water flowed where crushing pressure should have made it impossible, and the predicted transition between granite and basalt simply never materialized. Meanwhile, temperatures climbed to 180 degrees, almost twice the projected figure. The rock turned pliable and started sealing itself like living tissue. You might have encountered the myth about the well to hell, that fabricated recording of tortured souls shrieking far below. That hoax was exposed long ago. The actual discovery proves far stranger. Organisms from 2 billion years in the past suddenly returned to daylight. The project was abandoned during the 90s when the Soviet Union collapsed. Now, a welded steel cap seals the deepest incision humanity ever carved into Earth, and it penetrated less than 1/3 of the crust. Number 5. Lusi, the mud volcano that refuses to die, a rupture the planet will not close. In May 2006, Indonesian ground started hemorrhaging mud near a natural gas exploration site. What began as a seep transformed into a deluge. At maximum flow, it discharged up to 180,000 cubic meters of scalding mud every single day. The eruption never ceased, swallowing more than a dozen villages and forcing 40,000 residents to flee. The material originated from a marine clay layer nearly 2,000 meters deep, locked under pressure for millions of years. Scientific opinion split into genuine conflict. One faction insists the drilling operation itself triggered the catastrophe. The well lacked adequate protective casing, and when it punctured a pressurized zone, the fluid blasted upward. Another camp blames a magnitude 6.3 earthquake that had rattled the region just 2 days prior. During a 2008 survey of geologists, the drilling hypothesis prevailed, though the argument never truly settled. A third theory links Lusi to a geothermal system connected to a neighboring volcano, which would account for why the mud stays hot, hovering near 100 degrees, behaving like an active volcanic vent. Engineers attempted every remedy imaginable, even dumping chains of concrete spheres into the crater. Today, the mud sits confined in containment ponds visible from orbit, and the eruption continues. This largest recorded mud volcano event may keep erupting for another 20 to 30 years. Honestly, we still cannot say with certainty whether we caused this disaster or whether the Earth planned to do it regardless. Number 4. Bertha Rogers, the well that struck a lake of molten sulfur. A drilling operation hunting for gas encounters something almost legendary. In 1974, in Oklahoma, a company bored the Bertha Rogers Well into the Anadarko Basin, among the deepest geological formations in North America. It reached 9,583 meters and briefly claimed the title of deepest hole on Earth before Kola overtook it. Near the bottom, where the rock turned extremely dense and scorching hot, crews switched to a diamond bit and the shaft narrowed to just over 15 centimeters. At the very terminus, the drill pierced a chamber of pure, liquid sulfur. Temperature down there hovered around 246 degrees. Sulfur liquefies at 115. Hidden in total darkness, unknown to anyone, lay an underground pool of molten yellow stone. The liquid sulfur destroyed the equipment, and that marked the end of deeper drilling attempts. The science behind it: at such temperatures, sulfate compounds react with hydrocarbons and liberate elemental sulfur along with hydrogen sulfide, a deadly gas. The well never delivered the commercial return it promised.
It stands as evidence of how brutal conditions become at depth, where even sulfur flows like water inside a furnace. Number 3. The Bayou Corne Sinkhole, the marsh that consumed itself. In August 2012 in Louisiana, a wetland tore open and started devouring everything above it. A sinkhole formed directly over a buried geological feature, a salt dome created more than 160 million years ago, when the ancient Gulf of Mexico was a sea that repeatedly flooded and evaporated, depositing salt layers kilometers thick. A company had been mining that salt and left a cavern dangerously close to the dome's edge. The wall failed, the cavern ruptured, and everything above started collapsing inward. At the surface, whole trees, still upright, slid sideways and vanished into black water. The sinkhole eventually measured over 12 hectares and plunged hundreds of meters down. When the ground gave way, it freed crude oil and methane trapped since prehistoric times, which seeped into the aquifer below homes, creating tempting explosion hazards.
More than 300 residents evacuated and never came back, while seismographs detected constant tremors beneath the swamp. Number 2. Zealandia, the continent concealed under the Pacific. Sometimes a drill reveals not disaster, but rewrites planetary geography. Beneath the southwestern Pacific lies a landmass covering nearly 5 million square kilometers, and 94% of it sits underwater. It bears the name Zealandia. In 2017, a research team proposed it deserves recognition as Earth's 8th continent. For decades, Zealandia was dismissed as scattered submerged fragments, not a genuine continent. To settle the question, a scientific drilling vessel bored 6 sites across the region in 2017, penetrating hundreds of meters into rock now resting more than 1 kilometer beneath the waves. What they extracted resolved the debate: fossil pollen, spores, and shells from shallow water organisms, proof that portions of Zealandia once stood above sea level, covered in forests and coastlines, before subsiding. The fossils spanned 70 million years, many indicating a warm climate, demonstrating that the area was far more temperate 40 to 50 million years ago. These microscopic fossils acted as ancient altimeters, recording whether the rock formed in deep ocean, shallow sea, or on dry land. Reading them chronologically, scientists observed northern Zealandia rising and falling hundreds of meters, precisely as the Pacific Ring of Fire was emerging. Today, the only parts of this continent breaking the surface are New Zealand and New Caledonia. Number 1. Chicxulub, the day the dinosaurs perished. Perhaps the most direct example of a drill recovering a single day from deep time, the day the dinosaurs died. Off the Yucatan coast lies the Chicxulub Crater, the scar from the asteroid that struck Earth 66 million years ago and initiated mass extinction. In 2016, a scientific mission drilled directly into the crater, 1,335 meters below the seafloor, targeting what scientists call the Peak Ring, a circle of mountains that forms inside the largest impact craters. Chicxulub holds the only intact peak ring on Earth accessible by drilling. What the rock samples revealed bordered on unbelievable. Granite from the continental basement that had been violently thrust upward from 10 kilometers deep to nearly the surface within minutes during the impact. That validated a model called dynamic collapse. During a massive impact, solid rock momentarily behaves like liquid before solidifying back into stone. The cores displayed shattered granite, molten material, and chaotic, jumbled rock, layered like pages of a book written in one afternoon. The most unsettling section was a 130-meter interval documenting the first minutes and hours following impact. Researchers named it the first day of the Cenozoic. Upper layers contained charcoal from wildfires and unmistakable evidence of the tsunami that reflooded the crater that very day. Something crucial was absent. The sulfur that should have been present vaporized into the atmosphere. That vaporized sulfur is now believed to be the actual killer. It transformed into aerosols that obscured the sun and plunged the planet into an impact winter that shattered food chains worldwide. Yet even at ground zero, life demonstrated astonishing resilience. Researchers discovered that life recolonized the crater within years, perhaps a few thousand, far faster than anyone anticipated. Tiny burrows and microfossils reveal organisms returning to the most devastated location on the planet almost instantly. On the worst day in the history of life on Earth, life returned before geological time even registered the pause. If you've stayed with us this far, share in the comments which of these 6 deep Earth discoveries surprised you most. We keep unearthing what time attempted to bury. Until the next story.